We have racial division here in the United States, but the root cause of it isn't systemic. It's the media. Ask yourself, why are they stoking the flame of this already sensitive matter? It's easy, if you really think about it. They brush the Republican Party as a racist organization and its leader, Donald Trump, as a white supremacist. They have to continue with that narrative, especially while Trump is threatening to run again. So they'll always have that race card to blame the grand old party. In this video, CNN, the division propaganda network, is at it again. They use keywords strictly made to incite anger, which will cause protesting and ultimately cause riots. So I ask again, why CNN? Why?
Well, this morning, notably 2 years after the death of a black man in the custody of Louisiana State Police, we are just now seeing body cam video of his final moments. And when you watch this, it's disturbing. The footage shows Ronald Greene being tased, punched, kicked, dragged by state troopers, cursed at as well. In that video, Greene can be heard apologizing for leading them on a high-speed chase. He says that he was scared.
The video shows a very different reality of this encounter from the initial report filed by police in 2019. Ryan Young is following all of this for us. Ryan, what happened?
Yeah, when you watch this video, obviously, it's very difficult to watch, but let's not forget this main point here. This video was leaked. It took 2 years for us to get to this point, and we haven't seen all 46 minutes of it. We can't independently see how things went down with the officers there on scene. And I have to warn you, the video that you're about to see is difficult to watch.
I'm your brother, I'm scared.
Terrifying pleas from Ronald Greene after a high-speed chase led to a deadly confrontation with Louisiana State Police just outside the city of Monroe in May of 2019.
Get up here.
In body cam video obtained by the Associated Press, troopers can be seen repeatedly punching Greene after dragging him out of his vehicle.
Taser.
Troopers tase Greene multiple times while he's face down on the ground as they attempt to handcuff him. Another trooper can be seen kicking Greene.
All over. This guy ain't got AIDS.
The Associated Press released 3 segments of the original video, which it says is 46 minutes long. Only 2 of the video clips have audio. CNN has neither reviewed or obtained the original video, and it's unclear what occurred before or in between the video clips. The video is being seen by the public for the first time, but the incident took place 2 years ago. The body cam footage is shocking considering the way the encounter was described in Louisiana State Police initial report in 2019, which says troopers attempted to pull Greene over for an unspecified traffic violation that ended when Greene crashed his vehicle. The report also says, quote, Greene was taken into custody after resisting arrest and a struggle with troopers. Greene died on the way to the hospital, the report said. At no time on the video can troopers be seen trying to render any medical aid to Greene, who, according to the Associated Press, was face down and moaning for more than 9 minutes. CNN has reached out to the attorneys for the officers for comment. Lee Merritt is an attorney for the Greene family and spoke to CNN.
It's not only what you're seeing, but the sounds that go with it. You can hear him screaming and writhing in pain as he says, I'm your brother, please stop. I'm sorry, I was just scared.
The Department of Justice is investigating the incident, and in a statement to CNN, the Louisiana State Police says the premature public release of investigative files and video evidence in this case is not authorized and was not obtained through official sources. LSP is confident in the judicial system and fair review of this incident and continues to offer our full cooperation. Unauthorized release of evidence undermines the investigative process and compromises the fair and impartial outcome for the Greene family, LSMP employees, and the community. We are unable to provide any further information at this time. Greene's mother tells NBC she thinks the Louisiana State Police murdered her son.
They beat him with the purpose of letting him just die.
I think something that stands out to me, there's a point in the video, if you watch it, that Green's on his stomach, and anyone who knows about policing in terms of being handcuffed, there's a point where he seems to turn to see if he can get some breath, some air. And at that point, you actually see a trooper walk over and put his foot in the middle of his back and place him back down. You got to release that. Probably didn't give him any chance to catch a breath at that point after all that had happened to him. Lee Merritt, the attorney for the family, has actually told us that one of these officers is out there patrolling the streets even as we speak. And guys, when we talk about transparency all the time, especially with all these cases, we're talking about 2 years ago that this happened. And the only reason why we're talking about it today is because someone decided to release this video.
That's right.
Yeah, it reminds me of that description, the first police description in Minneapolis of the George Floyd arrest, right? I mean, after a health event. I mean, similarly, if not misleading, playing it down ridiculously, to say the least.
In Chicago, like there's so many cases that we see where police departments have said one thing, and then the next thing you know, this video comes out. Body camera sometimes helps police officers. This time is obviously shedding a light on something that we can't believe.
Ryan, thank you so much for that reporting. Let's talk about what Ryan just reported and what we all saw with former LAPD Sergeant Cheryl Dorsey, also the author of the book Black and Blue, Creation of a Social Advocate. Sergeant Dorsey, I mean, the fact that this police report reflects nothing of what we saw with our own eyes take place, and that's just 2 minutes of the 46-minute video. How does that happen?
Well, it happens because great deference is given to a version that a police officer gives in an incident, and we know that when an officer kills us, there's only one version, and that's the one that they tell. And we see time and time again where officers will manufacture a reason to use force, escalate it to deadly force. We're hearing that Mr. Green made some kind of a infraction, traffic violation that precipitated this interaction, and then, of course, the go-to famous 148 PC resisting arrest occurred and then ultimately led to his death. And we know all of this not to be true. They've been lying from the very beginning. They said he died as a result of a traffic accident. And listen, the fish rots from the head. This police agency administration knows exactly what occurred, much like we saw in the case of George Floyd. And they allow these offenders to live to offend again. So do we have to wait for another death before they get this officer off the street? He's still out there.
Sergeant Dorsey, tell me about the policing in this case. The police say what preceded it was he fled arrest, but to watch those moments there, repeat tasings, as we were describing with Ryan before, keeping the knee on the back, not administering medical care when it appeared that perhaps he needed it. Just what would the police procedure be there in this? Is any of this justified?
Well, I always say once the handcuffs go on, the person is in custody. There's no reason to administer any more use of force. But what we see, again, time and time again, are officers punishing black folks who run, who don't comply, who don't comply quick enough. All of those are things inherent to police work. People are fearful. People who are doing bad things don't want to go to jail, and so they run either on foot or in a car. We saw this just the other day in the case of the video released with Andrew Brown.
Right. I mean, look, one part of Ryan's reporting that was so heart-wrenching is the fact that Mr. Green was left down on the ground, face down, moaning for 9 minutes, and that there was no evidence of a medical response to him. And you just think about 9 minutes and you think about George Floyd, right? And you do have the Justice Department now, Sergeant Dorsey, looking at this from a civil rights violation standpoint. What can they do in this case?
Listen, I don't know what they will do. I mean, we understand that there are KKK infiltrators on these 18,000 police departments. We've heard from the FBI years ago, and again, most recently, that white supremacists, neo-Nazis, folks who just don't like black people, white folks, are on these police departments, and they're there for one reason, and that's to kill us. White folks are on these police departments, and they're there for one reason, and that's to kill us. And so we're seeing state-sponsored murder that's being condoned and in some cases encouraged. We have officers here on the LA Sheriff's Department who get tattoos to celebrate abuse and murder. And so what will the Justice Department do? I can't wait to see. It's not like they haven't known that this is going on.
Well, Sergeant Cheryl Dorsey, thanks so much for using your experience to help us understand this.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back.